Hello everyone and welcome to a different type of video than I usually do. This one is a My Hero Academia video, or what if. Well, it's not really a different type of video, but different topic of anime. So, you know how I usually do Naruto what ifs on this channel. Today, we'll be doing a My Hero Academia what if, because this is another anime that I really like, which I watch a lot. Just comment what if for either Dragon Ball, my Naruto, My Academia, because those are the ones I could probably cover. I can't really cover very much else. And I do watch their animes, but just stopped ranting. Today the what if is what if Deku could handle one for all, or more percentages of one for all at the beginning of the anime. It will be a different title because this one's way too long, but don't worry, this is still the same topic. So, for the background info, when Deku was born, he doesn't have a quirk as per usual, but he's still a big All Might fan, probably even bigger than he is before. He's like super huge. He even trains before he gets when he's 3, he starts like doing push-ups, or trying to do push-ups. He starts looking at like martial arts videos so he can become just like All Might. Well, not just like All Might, but he wants to be as strong as All Might. So when Deku is 4, he goes to try. Well, I think it's 4, 5, 6. I don't remember the age. But he goes to check if he has a quirk, but he's quirkless. But Deku goes like, but Deku's just crushed. His soul is just sad. He's like, but Ankle's like, but doctor, there has to be a way but there's no way. His father and I have a quirk. There's no way to inherit one of ours. Dr. Ujiko says, I'm sorry, ma'am, but that your son won't develop a quirk. He has 2 joints in his pinky. Pinky. Most people who have quirks only have 1 joint, so there's really very little chance that he'll ever develop a quirk. So, but instead of Inko saying you can't become I'm sorry, Izuku, it's just the way how things are. She's like, yes. She's like, whenever Deku asks, can I become a hero too? Inko's like, you can, son. I believe in you. And this gives him motivation to become a hero. So instead of not only he's working even harder. He's working on his smarts and his body. So he has this training regimen, but it slowly becomes more and more. So he's slowly starting to lift up weights, like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, stuff like that. Then he has 10-kilometer runs. He eats like training food, like vegetables and all that good stuff, and like normal food, anyways, for training. And he does. Yeah, this is what he does for years, just years upon years, and he adds more. Like he starts doing push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. He starts adding more and more over the years. And Bakugo is still making fun of Deku, but he's not being super mean. Well, he's not. He like acting to Deku the way he acts after he saved himself from a sludge villain. He's basically acting like he did after the sludge villain at the UA entrance exams. So yeah, but because this causes Deku to sometimes be able to beat Bakugo. It's like once every 10 times, which makes Baku mad, but this builds him in a relationship. He's saying like, maybe being quirkless doesn't mean that you could be weak. But still, he's just poor Izuku without any quirk. He's just weak. Can't handle any power. He'll be lucky if he survives being his little hero dream. But Deku keeps on standing up to him, even though he knows that he can barely beat him. So at the beginning, so now we skipped until he's to the beginning of the anime, where Bakugo doesn't blow up in the book, but is making fun of Deku, but Deku stands up to him. Also, he's still called Deku. I'm not calling him Mizu or Midoriya. It's Deku's easier to say, by the way. So, he goes through like that little alleyway just to get home quicker, and Sludge Villain attacks. He survived. The Sludge Villain still like tries to take over his body, but he's able to like fight it a little bit, just barely, but just a little by little, he's able to fight it. And All Might comes in and says, "I am here," and saves Deku. Deku's going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's All Might, it's All Might, it's All Might." And Deku's like, "Yes, yes, civilian, I am All Might, and you are now saved. All Might, can you?" Deku goes like, "All Might, can you save my notebook?" And then All Might says, "Open it up." He's like, Deku goes like, "You already signed it." Like, "Well, civilian, I shall not be going. I must go do more hero mission, or yeah, saving civilians." Ha 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 ha. But Deku still hangs on to him. Such villain escapes, and they get on the building. Deku still asks the question, "All Might, can I become a hero even though I'm quirkless?" Then All Might's about to respond, but he starts coughing. He's like, "Oh god." And then he becomes his Small Might form. He's like, "I'm sorry, kid, but I don't think you'll be able to become a hero. Even if you train, there's no way. Even if you train that so much, there's no way, because to become a hero, it's a very dangerous job. I don't think a quirkless person will be up to it. You become a policeman or something, but there's no way you become a hero." But then, Deku's soul is crushed. Like, it's a little less crushed, but because he's a little more confident, but it's definitely a lot crushed. But then they see the big explosion. Then Deku goes up. Then Deku says there's no point. There's no way I can become a hero anyways. And still ends up going to the place where the Sludge Villain attacks again. But then Deku gets there and he's like, "How did I get here?" And he just sees, "Oh god, wait, it's the guy who All Might stopped. Wait, he must have got out whenever I hanged on to him. Oh god, I wonder, how's that kid able to survive? There's a kid in there?" And he's like, "How's that kid able to survive? I was barely able to survive it. Barely able to breathe. I wasn't even able to breathe. I was about to die." But then All Might came around. And he realizes, wait, why are none of these heroes doing anything? And he realized they don't have the right quirks. And I wasted All Might's time. He could have stopped them. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. Then Deku starts running. He's like, "I'm coming to..." Then he realizes it's Kachan. And he goes like, "I gotta save him." And then he starts running, and then he does the same thing, throws his book bag, and then follows up with a punch into his eyes. Then he tries to which gives Bakugo a little more room. Deku still isn't able to get him out, but he does a little bit better. Then All Might sees this quirkless kid. He's able to go up to the Sludge Villain and try to rescue his friend. Well, how am I supposed to be number one with a simple thing like a limit? Then he starts buffing up. Then he goes with a Detroit Smash and saves Bakugo and Midoriya. Midoriya. Oh, the heroes are scolding Deku for like, "Why did you do that? You could have gotten yourself killed." But they're praising Bakugo or Kachan or whatever. They're like, "You have an amazing quirk. You should come to my hero agency." And then stuff like that. Before you go pro. And then Deku still receives one for all because he has to for this what to make sense. For the same way how you inspired, All Might's like, "You inspired me, Deku," and stuff like that. So now we go to the 10 months of training. So for 10 minutes of training, All Might still wants to do strength with Deku. But surprisingly, very surprisingly, Deku was able to finish this training in 5 months only. He suspected even with this extra training it would take at least 8 months, but 5 months. All Might thinks in his head, this kid's good. It's a good thing I chose him. So by the time, so he already has one for all. Like 5 months in, he already has one for all. And just make him a surprise to you. You know how he's able to use like 3% or 5% at the beginning of the anime? But now, he's able to use 15% of one for all. So for the next 2 months, he learns how to harness, control the output, and able to use it to his own accord, put it into his body parts. Not full cowling yet. Put emphasis on yet. So now that they're sparring and stuff, All Might and Deku, All Might, so far, with their first battle, All Might says, I will only use 5% of one for all, young Midoriya. And you can use all the power you want. You use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on and so forth, percentages of one for all, even if it does hurt to you. But whenever they first start sparring, All Might's like, we're doing pretty good. I'm surprised that you're not using these big punches like my Destroyed Smash or something. You may be using some of those, but you're using multiple fighting styles. You're using like first jujitsu, then kung fu, and then I'm not sure. I don't know very much of this stuff. Taekwondo, and then he just combined them all into his one fighting style. And what is this fighting style called? And Deku says, "You guys get to comment the name of the fighting style because I'm bad with coming up with names, but I can come up with some names. But I'm kind of bad with these names." So, this makes All Might very happy. So for the last 3 months, he is training his strength up still. He's sparring with All Might. He actually, during half of the 3 months, All Might is realizing, wait, he's only using one for all of one part of his, and two or one part of his body at one time. And then All Might calls Deku out for this. Then he realizes, wait, I should be using it all around my body, and if I ever want to do like a big smash, I could just control it into one arm, like how he does with full cowling. So then he comes up with full cowling and is able to, and gets like really good grasp on it, because it only took him 2 weeks to get a decent grasp on it. Now he has 1.5 months, or 1.5 months, whatever you want to say. So by the time the UA entrance exams, he already has a good night's sleep and stuff like that. But now, you guys might be asking, well, how much of one for all can you handle now? So how much you can handle one for all is 25% of one for all. That's more than the manga. That's way more than manga. Like, okay, there's gonna be some manga spoilers, but don't worry. So in the manga, he's able to use about 20% one for all without like breaking his bones. But he needs like these gauntlets, I think. I haven't caught up on the manga too much, guys. So if he uses it without those gauntlets he uses, then he can use 20% of it without breaking his bones. Without the gauntlets. Or with the gauntlets. I don't remember. But now he'll use 25% with pretty much ease. He's able to push it to 30%, but that's gonna bring a pretty big strain to him. And by the end of this, he has a pretty good concept of full cowling. Now we go to the entrance exams. So whenever Deku's walking up to the entrance exams, he meets Kacchan, and Kacchan's even nicer to him now after this villain incident. Even nicer for one reason and one reason only, because Deku sort of a little bit helped more. So he's nicer than he is than before, but it's still like, you'll barely get anything, Deku. So now, but Deku still strips and Uraraka saves him like, I don't remember the correct. I don't want to do an Uraraka voice because I think you guys will yell at me. Okay, so now after this, when they get into the building, start doing the theory exams, and he gets above. He gets like a 70%. Yeah, 70% more, 10 points percent more than he got in the anime, or was it 50? I do not remember. But we'll say 60 for a minimum. So Deku's okay with his score, but I feel like he could have done a lot better because he still wasn't stressed. But he wasn't in like so much stress that he can study at all. But he was getting a little bit better nights of sleep. But he did train more on his body, so he's not as smart. Well, he is smarter, but he's not. He wasn't as smart at the beginning of the 10 months of training than he was once before. But he is as smart as he was now because he was able to train better. Now we get to the practical exam, where Deku just starts out 25% one for all. Like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna beat Bakio. That's my goal right now. So he goes even faster than Ida. Yeah, I'll say Ida. I don't really remember. So he's going destroying robots, and everyone's like, what quirk does this guy have? At first it looks like he has a speed quirk, then he's like super strong. He has like multiple quirks and enhancement quirks, and everyone's very surprised once they see him. So by before like the 0-point robot, he has about 60 points. But when the 0-point robot comes, he pushes it to 100% and absolutely demolishes the city. But destroys its arm because, like, you know, he needs to save Uraraka. Or Uraraka, or Shaka. I don't really care what you say. Yell at me if you want. Sorry, guys. But this destroys, like, a lot of robots. So he gets 30 extra attack points, that's 60 rescue points. And his arm is damaged. Same as a cannon. Now, I say it does more damage for one reason and one reason only. It does more damage because I feel like in the practical exam, he goes like, he's not able to control how she uses it. So I think he only uses 70% in the actual anime. Because I feel like using 100%, he would have done more damage in my opinion. But that could just be headcanon, I'm not sure. But he gets 1 extra point. Just kidding, he didn't get extra points. But he ended off with 150 points, and he passes to go to the Hero Force. And Deku is crying his eyes out. He's actually number 1. No one heard that. He's actually number 1 in the entrance in the practical, not theory, but practical, which makes him really happy. Like, but he knows that he's going to be in a rude awakening because of he beat Kachan, and Kachan's gonna be pretty mad. But that's where I'll be ending it off, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and goodbye.